You get to reset every day, every morning, every time you take a new perspective, every time you take a new approach to something. That's a reset. Anytime you experience in this nervous system love, light, connection, joy, enthusiasm, beauty, silence, then you are living the consciousness qualities. So we're in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, beginning at verse number 7. Start chanting at verse 7, maybe do 5 of them, and then we'll continue 7 through 12, okay?
Okay. सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकाम् कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि कल्पादौ विसृजाम्यहम् प्रकृतिं स्वामवष्टभ्य विसृजामि पुनः पुनः भूतग्रामम् इमं कृत्स्नम् अवशं प्रकृतेर्वशात् न च मान् तानि कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय उदासीनवदासीनम् असक्तं तेषु कर्मसु मयाध्यक्षेण प्रकृतिसूयते सचराचरम् हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय जगद्विपरिवर्तते अवजानन्ति मां मूढा मानुषीं तनुमाश्रितम् परं भावमजानन्तो मम भूतमहेश्वरम् मोघाशामोघकर्माणो मोघज्ञानाविचेतसः राक्षसीमासुरीं चैव प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं श्रिताः.
Verse 7, chapter 9. Arjuna, during the final dissolution, all beings enter my Prakriti, the prime cause. And at the beginning of creation, I send them forth again. Verse 8. Wielding my nature, I procreate again and again, according to their respective karmas, all this multitude of beings subject to the sway of their own nature. Arjuna, those actions, however, do not bind me, unattached as I am to such actions, and standing apart, as it were. Arjuna, my nature brings forth the whole creation, consisting of both sentient and insentient beings. It is due to this cause that the wheel of samsara is going around. Not knowing my supreme nature, fools deride me, the overlord of the entire creation, who have assumed the human form. That is to say, they take me, who have appeared in human form through my yogamaya for deliverance of the world, as an ordinary mortal. Number 12. Those bewildered person with vain hopes, futile actions, and fruitless knowledge have embraced a fiendish, demonical, and delusive nature. What was popping in my head when I was looking at, you see my head cut off? It's okay? No. What, when he speaks about the final dissolution, in that statement is that there's some order to life, right? There's a beginning and an end, because the next verse says, then they come forth. according to their nature. So he says, when there is final dissolution, everything's absorbed back in me, I'm modifying, and then again, based on my nature, form is taken again. That alone means that there is form, order, structure to creation, sentient or insentient. Yes? Sandra, you look perplexed. Talk to me.
I was trying to remember the meaning of sentient.
Oh, you could say mobile, immobile, alive, what appears to be alive using our vocabulary, and what appears not to be alive, right? Objects and subject, people,
Oh,
animals, plants, things,
mhm,
rocks, stones, water, whatever you want to call it. He's saying they are both created through him. But
mhm,
I wanted to realize that many people, or what I'm suggesting is, there are people who see the world as just it out of chaos, meaning it's random. Maybe chaos is not the word, but perceive that life is created randomly. Things happen and then they don't happen, right? But clearly, if you read these verses, even if you've never read the Gita or anything, and you're someone who contemplates how is this creation? Who made it? How did it come about? Does it have structure? Is it just like this and then you die? If you were to think like that, you are going to answer one way or the other. Oh, it's random. Or there's some order to it. There's some intelligence to it. There's some structure to it. There's some organization to it. And what I'm suggesting is if you just read verse number 7, during the final dissolution, it means I know this is going to happen. I'm talking about it, right? All beings enter my Prakriti, the prime cause. And at the beginning of creation, I send them out again. This implies a great deal of structure, order, and intelligence underneath it. Correct? This is the first thing to kind of recognize these questions of who, what, where, when, why. And the interesting thing is that was flashing through my head is as human beings, we really seek order. True? Naturally, innately, without wanting to, we create order. Even when you say, oh, you're free to go do whatever you want, you'll see people start, what should we do now? That in itself is a search for order, some direction. No?
mhm,
It's a fascinating kind of pull behind that verse, which is that we seek, wanting it or not. We talk about freedom in a chaotic sense. Sometimes I wish I could just do whatever I wanted and not have to be responsible for anything, not have to answer to anybody, do as I come and go as I please. We have said this somewhere along the way in our life. No, we say that. But even in that, we are seeking to do something else that seeks order and structure. It's everything, water flows in a particular way, whether it goes then into the river and then lands into the ocean. It's a certain kind of order seeking a starting point and an end point, right? You see, I have this plant around it's a Rudra plant, and I replanted it, and it's a little not happy because I took its order away from one pot and replanted it into the other one. So it looks a little wilted, and I keep going to it to say, come on, it's not that bad. Look how much I have moved. You can also do it. Like I'm supporting it. And then I noticed that as struggling as the leaves are, they're all moving towards the sun, right? There, on one side is the window, and obviously on the other side it's not. So they're all somehow struggling to get to the sun because it's struggling. Before they were everywhere, and the sun also goes behind the window. It's not that it doesn't, but they're struggling. They're seeking order, structure, direction. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So innately, we want structure, we seek order. And here, Lord Krishna is saying, during this dissolution, everything enters. He doesn't say destroyed. When a dream is over, when the dreamer wakes up, is the dream destroyed? No, it enters back into the dreamer, right? Because sometimes, maybe the next day or that same day, if you fall back asleep, what happens? The same dream erupts again, doesn't it? The same characters, the same dream. Sometimes it continues where it left off. Sometimes you say, it was such a good dream. Why did you wake me? And then people want to go back to sleep, hoping to catch up on that place. So he doesn't say destroyed. He says it enters back into me. And when the time is right, I send them forth again. When you fall into deep sleep, dream comes again. There's no doing in it, right? Okay, let me continue. Wielding my nature, I procreate again and again. Wielding, how would you translate that? There's not necessarily effort in wielding, is there? Can somebody punch in that definition? Wielding my nature, I procreate again and again. You know, it's Sanskrit into English, not knowing what Sanskrit means. I'm even doubtful of the word procreate. That's why I'm asking you to check. According to their respective karmas, all this multitude of beings subject to sway of their own nature.
It looks like the power, with the power of like his wielding my nature is using the power of my nature.
Say that again.
Power. It says um, to be able to use power or influence.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no effort in wielding. You know, I give you a different example. If you have hydrogen in a container and you put oxygen into it, however much they mix up well together, will it create water? What is water made up of? 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom, correct? So if I have a container airtight because they're gases, and I can pour in hydrogen and I can pour in oxygen, will it become water in there? Didi, who took physics? Shut up. No, but you know, just think about it. How much hydrogen and oxygen moves about in the air? You don't see suddenly drops of water in your house, correct? What is needed? Electricity. This, if you go back into your high school sciences, you might recall what is needed is
Catalyst. Yeah.
catalyst. Correct? That is what you need. What is a catalyst? Does a catalyst effort decide to mix the 2 hydrogen and the oxygen together to create water?
Just his presence is enough.
Exactly. Exactly. The presence of the catalyst creates water. And so that is the few verses that I read, what you hear. That's why I don't know if it came out loud, but my system went like, wow, oh my God. Because there was a flash of clarity, like a catalyst. The presence is enough to create. There's no doing, there's no effort, there's no purpose, there's no thinking, there's no I will now and I will now enter it back. It's not like that. The presence of the thing, electricity, the catalyst, naturally creates. And if you break down that water into H2 and O, will you find electricity there? You will not. The electricity is the basis of the water. The presence of the electricity is the basis of H2O turning into water, but it is not in the water. Do you remember this from the previous times? The catalyst, if you break it down, however you break it down, you will not find the electricity there. I think, is that amazing? Actually, even it's a good metaphor, if I must say so myself. It's very good to think of the electricity, the catalyst in how something moves. You know, that could sound like, well, then it's just random. But there's nothing random about electricity entering and taking only two hydrogen atoms and only one oxygen atom and creating water. That's not random. Every single time you put the catalyst in, it will create water out of hydrogen and oxygen. And if you boil it, it'll turn into vapor. And then, the cycle continues. The vapor and the clouds and however, and then it rains. And the cycle is ongoing. And it's not that anybody is doing anything. By its nature, by the power of the presence, the catalyst, creation happens. And it's not random. And at the same time, it is not purposeful. This is enough. I mean, we wouldn't need to talk anymore. It's so beautiful. If you just consider this notion of how easily we want order, though the mind struggles to feel like I don't want order. 1 second, someone just chatted. Give me a minute. It's a place to be of wonder. This is not a conversation where you try to apply only logic. If you remember in the beginning of the chapter, I said faith is required. And faith doesn't mean something blindly you accept. It means out of wonder, you search, you dig, you look a little bit beyond what you see, touch, and feel. No? Krishna is saying, 1 second. ChatGPT's translation for this verse, taking refuge in my own material nature, I create again and again this entire multitude of beings helplessly driven by the force of nature. That's what I'm saying. Its nature, its presence is enough and it's creating. It cannot be helped. It is not effort. It is not purpose. It is not doing. It is not I want. It is not I don't want. If you have electricity, it does what it does. Catalyst is a good word for it, And in that sense, the divine presence, by its nature, that's its nature. It's a catalyst. It just erupts again and again, goes back, goes up, goes down, goes up. Meaning, in plain language, Krishna is saying that he repeatedly brings all living beings into existence by operating through Prakriti, material nature. The beings themselves are not fully in control. They are carried along by the laws and forces of nature. This goes back to the gunas again. Who sent me that? Thank you so much. Harsh, it's great. Do you see? Don't just read it. You have to break it down, find a metaphor, look at it, examine it, and you see this is such an amazing thing. Krishna is saying he repeatedly brings all living beings into existence by operating through Prakriti, through nature. In its own power, there's also the power to dream. Just within our own existence, we have the power to dream. And every day, exactly like Krishna, again and again, based on how our day was, based on whatever we're holding somewhere within ourselves, we erupt an entire world during dream, and then it's dissolution. And then we do it again, and then it absorbs back in, and we do it again and absorbs back in. We do it for 80, 90, 100 years, or ad infinitum. It's all the same. Do you hear what I'm saying? Okay, now talk to me. I think this is an amazing. Next verse. Arjuna, those, yes.
So
Go ahead.
the one question that I had, I had this concept in my mind of dissolution, and it felt like a reset, or like, starting from scratch. And this comment about even after the final dissolution, coming back according to karma, that threw me off a little bit, I guess. Does it make sense what I'm saying? But maybe again, I had
But
this theory.
well, you thought like everything disappears into nothingness and then nothingness starts over with somethingness.
Yes, yes.
You're not completely wrong, but your idea of dissolution, meaning everything absorbs back in, right? To you, it means somethingness new gets, like you, Hirsch, will not be again born with the same things that Hirsch had in his mind, his own impressions. Yeah, you won't necessarily be born as Hirsch, but somebody like you will come.
Yeah, yeah,
Every character, every role, the universe is continuously expanding, and it's an ever and never ending soap opera.
yeah. That makes sense.
There's no like something new. You know, why soap operas are there? Because there's nothing new. How many millions and billions of people have gone before you like you with the same struggles, the same questions, the same doubts, the same joy, loved ice cream, hated ice cream, loved their spouse, didn't like their spouse, had children. And how many billions more will come? Are they really different? Do you see? Because your mind is seeing the individual person as something, as a concrete entity. Remember, I told you about the vases that are in front of me.
Yeah,
The shapes are different, but it's all gold. And in some, I can put more water. In some, I can put less water. In some others, I cannot put any water because they have holes on the bottom. Do you see? I think that when we think like, oh, dissolution, everything, it's a reset and starts over, it's because that's what we're searching for. Like, oh my God, please tell me this nightmare will end and then it'll start from the beginning. And I get to remember that, erase everything and start again. Remember that daydream we talked about last time? How we erase it and then we want to start it fresh, but it doesn't, it goes in its own direction, right? It's it's a nervous system that's saying mind, ideas, thoughts, limitedness, if you want, saying enough. There's just got to be some other way. Let me start over so that my mistakes and the regrets and the thing I could have, would have, should have, that'll be gone and I'll be freed. There's no should have, would have, could have now. If we can absorb it, it doesn't exist now. This moment would be your reset. That's what is meant by present moment. You get to reset every day, every morning, every time you take a new perspective, every time you take a new approach to something. That's a reset. It's just that there's this tank called hard drive or memory, which makes you think it's not a reset. Correct? Every time you open your computer and open a new file, it's a new file. No? There's stuff in the hard drive. So, and we think the hard drive is the moment. That's the problem. Even that, did you hear that very clearly, what I just said? A reset is possible now. And then it's a dissolution. And the moment you start new, that is creation. Right? The beauty of Vedanta, of Advaita Vedanta, is that it doesn't separate the creator from the created in the other traditions do. It says you are fully in charge. You can create at any given moment that you want to. And you can preserve what you create for some amount of time, but it'll change by the laws of nature because you've created in matter. and then it will transform itself into another creation, right? But you, the creator, are not what you created in that sense also. Are we hearing each other? It's beautiful. This is a good question, Hirsch, and the answer is even more better because it frees us to just come to this idea that, yeah, I get to reset. What the hell am I holding on to? Why do I need to keep dragging this stuff in front of me forward? It's like I'm awake, and the whole day I keep talking about the dream, and sharing about the dream, and yeah, but it's gone. This is the most basic thing that we are not taught to realize when we're young, and maybe there's no way to teach it, which is that what happened is very, very similar to a dream. It's dead and gone. You can remember it, you can feel it for a little while, the dream after it's over, your heart beats if you were being chased, and you might even be sweating physically in your body. There's actual physical ramifications of it, but there's nobody chasing you. You're cozy in your bed with your comfortable blanket. And then after a while, that dream fades away. Similarly, whatever trauma we went through, whatever good or bad we went through, it has faded away, right? And what are vague memories we remember because we keep rehearsing it as a happening now, right? Not that it's already gone through dissolution and dissolved, but we think it's still part of the eruption of creation. It feels bigger. This is the entire part 1 Art of Living course. Yes? Very, very beautiful.
Amazing, Didi. Thank you.
Yeah. What do you want to reset?
I think you said it already, right? Somewhere it's that this thing of it's an easy fix, right? Getting away from all the mind stuff. But the way you explain it was really an aha moment, right? That every moment can be dissolution and coming forth again.
But
That's
I do think that the Lord Krishna is saying that you can think of it as in creation, beginning of a yuga, and then end of the 4th yuga. You can see it in terms of yugas and epics, right? But also what is in the macro is in the micro and vice versa. This we have been discussing all along. And consciousness, that force, the foundational force, intelligence in which everything erupts is there right now. And anytime we hold something, we let go something, we create something, we are in that cycle of creating, letting go, creating, letting go. And it is up to that one which is aware, which is conscious, to drop it and to recreate. And actually, as parents, as adults, this is something we want to teach our children in a very, very clear way. Doesn't matter if it didn't work, shake it off, start again. What are you saying? You have the intelligence in you. You are the creator. You have the power and the strength in you. Let that go. Create again. Yes? But we don't address the intelligence of that child. We address an event, a thing, a particular situation. We forget the child. We're not trying to teach this to the child, but we are not aware that, wait, all intelligence, all creative force is within this being. So you don't get nervous and you just say, come on, you can do it. You add something of creativity to that force versus if you don't, guilt or fear or worry or stress of doing and all of that. Yes, I thought I saw someone's hand. Alex, did you have your hand up? No. No. Okay. Do you see that? It is correct. I don't when he says again and again, I don't think he means from one, Satyug all the way at the end of Kalyug. No. Satyug is what? When an idea erupts in us, you notice initially it's very pure in the creative state of an idea, a business idea or whatever it is, children, anything that you see, that initial impulse is very pure. Yes? I'm going to draw. I'm going to paint. I'm going to start an old business. We're going to get a house. Oh my God, we're getting a car. Let's make something. It's weekend. Let's make homemade pizza. It has some pure satyug, if you want. The eruption of that initial thought is very pure. And then as you pull out the ingredients for the pizza and something spills a little bit, then you say, oh, perhaps there's an easier way to make the pizza. You haven't yet reached Kalyug. Perhaps there's an easier way. You know what? I know that you can get dough already made. No, we don't want an already made dough. Let's make it out of scratch. So you start again. You have not lost your enthusiasm yet. You have not given up in spite of, quote, it not going perfectly. I'm talking to all my engineers, all of us who are, hell-bent on getting it perfect. We don't lose enthusiasm. We're still quite lively, though a few things don't go well. Sometimes Satyug lasts so long, meaning you'll make those pizzas a few times. And then you finally might reach, okay, I'm not making homemade pizza anymore. It's never worked out, called Domino's. Now you're in Kalyug. Do you see? But then, I don't know, Guruji comes to your house and, oh, let's have something American. Oh, pizza? Yes. Let's try that homemade pizza for Guruji again. You erupt again in your creativity. Doesn't this happen constantly in life? Yes? I mean, you're not even nodding your head. Come on, it happens. Yes or no? You will want to try something. Well, we could try. Let's just see. Or somebody comes and I really want the pizza, but I can't eat the outside pizza because the tomato sauce has onion, garlic. Well, I don't know, Diti, but let's try it. Something erupts. Notice. With the mistakes, you continue, enthusiasm remains. Then you get to Treta Yuga. Then you start to look for, okay, we've tried this 2 times. It's not as vital and vibrant and exciting. No, we already had a Volt car. That didn't go well. Let's try a different car. This cycle of yugas are not something of time, because then you're thinking of time linearly. We've been through this. Time does not exist like that. Everything is happening. The past, the present, the future is now. It's how high your altitude of vision is. If you go high enough on an airplane, in a rocket, then you see everything that for somebody is the future, but the one looking is the present, and for somebody else, it's the past. Yes or no? Did that confuse you? No. It's very clear. If a car is going from Los Angeles to San Diego, I'm somewhere in the middle in Orange County or Ventura, and I saw the car leave LA, I know where it's headed. I can see its future in front of me. Correct? If I look behind it, I can see its past because it's already moved forward. It's all happening at one time. We just do not have the capacity to expand our awareness there. We are so localized. We look at things so minutely. So time, yugas, satyug, meaning that first age of, like how they used to say, age of Aquarius and this and that. That first age of creation is pure, clear, supportive, nurturing. And then slowly, in anything we create, that energy gets a little bit diminished, and you end at Kalyug, meaning where meanness, like, I don't like, we start to take clear positions, good, bad, right, wrong. You try to materialize, make things transactional. We're not doing it if it's not coming out right. That's transactional statement, even over a pizza. We've already done it 4 times. You know how much this money's cost? We could just go and get the best pizza. We're just wasting money on cheese and this and that, and we don't even like it. That's transactional conversation for something that's joyful. This is that yuga. Haven't you ever considered that is happening from moment to moment, and our reset needs to be from moment to moment. How do we get there? A reminder is necessary. Just a little reminder that, okay, this is going to change. It's not always going to be like this. And when the moment has passed, you say, okay, this is just a memory. It's not there. No, but you don't understand. It left a scar. Where? Where? Show it to me. Where's the scar? It's a memory. It's a stream of thoughts and ideas and a story woven together that you buy into and get others to buy into. So it's traumatic. I'm not saying it's not. The dream when you're being chased is traumatic. You sweat, you run, your heart beats, you're scared, all of that's happening. And then you wake up. Now it's over. That moment has passed. And exactly like a dream, our moments literally pass if we allow it. That's a reset. No? Okay, next verse, shall I read? Next verse. Number 11. Not knowing my supreme nature, fools deride me, the overlord of the entire creation, who have assumed the human form. What did he just say? We have assumed human form. We have human form, let me put it this way. But we don't see the consciousness, the intelligence within this form. We see ourselves as a solid body or a stream of thoughts or a stream of emotions. How foolish are we? Long before, the body was what it is today, there was intelligence in the baby. There was joy in the baby. There was awareness in the baby. Isn't it? It was our nature. It is our nature. We forget that that's our nature. We stick our nature into outside stuff. That's what's called foolish. It's assumed the human form. That is to say, they take me, who have appeared in human form through my yogmaya for deliverance of the world, as an ordinary mortal. We do not see ourselves as a divine force having a human experience, do we? But even you just pick up some book, some spiritual book. How many hundred different ways do people say we are divine having a human experience? That is not to say, oh, I'm divine, I'm great. No, that's not it. Who's saying I am great? That's not divine. No, it's the ability to let go, to free oneself. It's a way to reset. What I'm seeing is a passing moment. And it does not touch my ability, my skill, my capacity, my talent, my love. It does not touch it. What it touches is the ego, the think of me that I think I am. That's all that it touches. That is what is meant by they see themselves as mortal. They see the human form as mortal. Did you hear this last piece? Yes? It doesn't. If you fail at something, did anything happen to the intelligence and the capacity that you had before that failure came? Did anything happen to that? Yes or no? No, you got a bruised ego, meaning that says, what if I fail again? Maybe you lost some resources, I lost some money, but nothing happened to you. The same one that made the decision to invest could have made the decision tomorrow not to invest because you just lost. Nothing happens to that intelligence. What happens is we're so hell bent on making sure that we manage the transactional world because it is our reality, it is the truth. We consider that as everything, and therefore, when we lose, we think we lost ourselves. When we win, we think we won, the self won. But it's not touched, nothing happens to it. Your wallet gets bigger, the car gets bigger, the size of the pizza grows, the car moves from normal Tesla to some bigger Tesla, I don't know, to some other car. You finally get a driver, you get a Venmo for yourself. I mean, these things change, but nothing happened to you. Unless you personalize the transaction as yourself, the result of that transaction as oneself. That's really what's being discussed here. This is a chapter that is describing the qualities of what, if we can say, who is God, what is God, how is creation, what creates. And at some point, we are moving towards the direction of the recognition that you have that exact intelligence. A drop of water and a bucket of water and an ocean of water, if it came from that ocean of water, is the same. But we call it a drop or a bucket or a glass or an ocean, and we add value to it based on that. And on some level, you do have to add value because a drop is a drop. But in essence, it's the same. You see? So this is a reminder of our essence. It's a reminder to move away from separation and transaction and division as our nature. That is also there, no doubt. When you interact in that world, you do. But if your identity is, I am my glass, and why did you break my glass? And it's hurting me that you broke my glass. We could replace it. No, it's not the same. Oh my God, okay. Then what? At some point, you have to wake up from the dream and say, okay, it was a glass. But we don't. 10 years later, you remember when you broke my glass? No? And then let me read this portion again. He's saying in verse 11, that is to say, they take me who have appeared in human form through my yogmaya for deliverance of the world as an ordinary mortal. So from time to time, there is an embodied force that does not have a limited identity, like Gurudev, like a Buddha, like a Christ, like a Krishna. But not everybody recognizes those qualities unless they're again doing exactly what we're talking about, willing to look past the limitations. We don't recognize it. And deliverance means what? To move us out of that tamasic state of just measuring everything through transaction. Going back to the pizza example, oh my God, it's cost us so much. Why do we do this again and again? I'm not doing it anymore. If you want pizza, either order it or we're going out, but I'm not doing it at home. Thai food, yeah, it was great, but I'm not making it anymore. It doesn't. Thanksgiving, I'm not having it anymore at the house. It never works out. We go to your mother's house. That mind that has absorbed itself in tamas, inertia, dullness. And if one individual, you look at it globally, you look at it, universe, when everything goes back into greed and jealousy and separation and me and mine and yours and conflict, then there is, quote, this source that awakens awareness of, oh, come on, it's not that bad. Let's do it again. Let's try one more time. All right, this time it'll be different. Because last time it's process of evolving without a purpose. Pizza is a good example. Yes, it's there to eat, but like I said, you could have ordered it, but there's the joy of making it. Why? Because of the joy of making it, playing out the role of making a pizza. Getting your hands dirty, flour everywhere, all over the counter, on the floor, having to clean up. That is the lila. You know? Yogmaya, that power is innate in the catalyst. Electricity does nothing to be electricity in order to take hydrogen and oxygen into water. It's innate in it. Power of catalytic reaction, I guess that's how you say it, is within that presence. It does nothing. You do nothing to have a dream. It happens. And you do nothing to start a fresh new dream. It happens. The other one absorbs back in and a new one arises. And you go through this at a speed of light. Don't you notice sometimes early morning hours, there's so many dreams, like back to back to back to back. And then you suddenly wake. Have you noticed that? Like oftentimes, because if the mind is very like busy or very tired, it crashes into sleep. And then when body mind rejuvenates a little, then in the morning hours you will have a lot of dreams, quick dreams, because part of you is already awake. You're a little bit beyond your time in terms of sleeping, but it's not fully awake. And then you notice some little, like the days I really do long travels, I notice that my morning dreams are sped up, one after another. You do nothing to have a dream. You don't plan your dream. You don't have a purpose in your dream. You can't do anything in your dream, even though you are the dreamer slash creator. The dream disappears on its own, and another one starts on its own, and it happens as long as you're lying in bed. 8 hours is all the yugas. No? Repetitive cycle. That is samsara, the word that was earlier used. Samsara, repetitive cycle of birth and death, creating and dissolving and recreating and dissolving. Even if you look from birth to however old we are at this moment, we have gone through so many phases of layers of being some particular way, interested in something, wanting something, driven by something, and then letting it disappear, dissolve, and something new coming up. What you wanted in junior high school, you did not want in high school. What you wanted in high school and college, you do not necessarily want, when you're 40. And what you thought was amazing in high school, you don't want your kids to have, even though they are in high school. Like, no, that was so crazy what I was thinking. Yes or no? You don't, because you have evolved. Evolution means somewhere there was a creation and a dissolution. That is the process of evolution. No? I don't know, does this sound theoretical to me? It doesn't. I just see that tamas, when there is a lot of tamas, that is what verse 12 says, those bewildered persons with vain hopes, futile actions, and fruitless knowledge have embraced a fiendish, demonical, and delusive nature. Means they've entered tamas. I haven't done with pizza. You mentioned the word pizza, I'm going to scream. That is tamas. No? We've entered that state. However much you say no enthusiasm, no energy. How many people, in fact, a lot of young people say, oh, mom, oh, dad, my God, I hope when I grow up, I don't end up like you. Because mom and dad say, I don't want to do that. No, beta, you go do it. I'm done with that. Yes or no? I'm not interested. And then you say, I hope I don't end up like that. I'm sorry, but nature seeks order. Guess where you're headed? To be mom and dad, we're headed there. Unless we wake up, meaning become conscious. See that life is so much more than what I touch, what I see, what I feel. That I am so much more than what I accomplish or don't accomplish, than what I think or feel. Things come and go, events come and go, people come and go, success and failure both come and go, but I'm still here. Who am I? Who is still here? What is still here? In all honesty, even if memory is failing as one gets older, there's still something more vibrant and more intelligent that you could. No, I am so much wiser. Old age is good. It makes you wise. People say that, right? There's some confidence that comes even from aging, does it not? And it's not, the body is not more confident. In fact, quite the opposite. You walk a little more delicately, you know. But internally, there's like, okay, whatever was going to be has happened, just fine. You don't care about the little things. You don't care what someone's going to say or not say. Even more of that happens as we grow older. This is why you see sometimes no older people, they just blurt anything out, and people have the younger ones especially have their eyes open. As when we're young, we're caught in the little things. How do I look? I have a pimple. Everybody's had a pimple, but this pimple, they look in the mirror, it's bigger than their nose. Pimple. Ma! Okay, you have a pimple. Okay, let me see if I can help you. And they put something on it. Oh, everybody can see I can't go. I'm not going to the party. You give up a party because of a pimple. And God forbid it's on your nose. The next time it'll show up on the nose because you didn't accept it. Right there. There it is on your nose. Oh. Today you get a pimple, you're not that bothered. I hope. Yeah, there's a pimple there. Okay, fine. True? Because your identity has gone from your skin on your face to something more. Your sense of self is not based upon a pimple. You can imagine you tell you, wow, you're really a confident person. Everything is based on a little volcano on your face that's going to erupt disgustingly. Very proud of you for having achieved no pimple. What? Because if a pimple sways you, that means no pimple also sways you. You think you are that. Your sense of self is based upon that. It's just like saying, I have a car that's a Tesla. Important. I have a Honda, used one. Not so important. It's a pimple, people. I don't say don't have. I'm saying if you see it in proportion to what it is, you will go for it with more power and more juice and more stamina and confidence and strength for what you want. You will not be worried about if it doesn't happen. You will not lose your energy, creativity, intelligence in wondering about what might happen, in trying to please the royal they that are not visible in front of you. There's a royal they that lives in all our heads. What will what will they say? How will I look in front of them? If it's just a pimple, you don't care about their opinion. You go for it in a different way in life. Don't you think that adds a certain empowered state of existence, vitality? This is what you want to teach young children. No, why does that matter? You go do what you need to do. Okay, daddy, apply it. No, I got a pimple. I can't apply it. You'll never say that. But our actions, in a way, say that. So These verses, these chapters are designed to awaken us to the big picture, not get localized on some one little thing. Yes? Okay. What time is it? 7, 8. We'll stop here. If you have a question or a comment, let's hear it. You're giving me hearts, Galina. Your comment is you love me. That's it? Someone's writing something. Just one moment. Apurva. First Vishal. It's the identification that's the root cause. Yes. Pimple. You're all going to walk around for the next week. Whenever you get caught up, I hope that it had, oh, another pimple. What am I doing? It's going to explode. Just move on. No? Yes. Our identity is to the car, to the clothes, to the house, to, how much money is in your bank account, how much money is not in the bank account, how big is the house, how small is the house, who you know, who you don't know, how many people are following or not following, how many people I teach, I don't teach. We're all a victim of that. The only difference is as we walk this journey, again and again, we remind ourselves to look past the successes and failures, the objects and things and positions, and see that there's something more. Through all of that, I exist. Behind all of that, I exist. Apurva, I really like physics class today. Yeah, I hope you meant this class. It's really, it's a good example, a catalyst. Its presence is enough to create. An absence of that presence dissolves it. The dream example is so good to understand the creation just happening and having order as well. It's just there. It's one thing to say God and I are one. That's a long way to go because there's so many I in our system. I, the thinker, I, the critic, I, the commentator, I, there's so many I. And then there's the I that contains all those little I's, right? It's one thing to say that. We cannot because there's so many small little roles that we are identified to. But it is possible to say, I am bigger than the things I achieve or don't achieve. That is possible. Because without that thing the day before, you were where you are now. And when you have it, you'll be where you are tomorrow. Nothing will have changed, only in your mind. Otherwise, nothing would have changed. It's funny, I just said something, I wish I could remember, but this afternoon in my meditation, I had a little bit of an epiphany around how, oh, that doesn't even exist. That's just stuff in the mind. I can't recall, but anyway, yeah, the dream example is a very good example to remind ourselves back in terms of what is this creation? How does it work? Who created it? Why was it created? No? Why do you dream? Who had the dream? Who created the dream? Why did he create that dream? Why did he create a Hitler? Why does God have tornadoes? Why did he create people who kill people? Why did he create people who are born? And why did he create people who don't kill people? And why did he create thorns? Well, why did he create a beautiful jasmine? It's a dream. Doesn't really prick you. You think it pricks you, the thorn. Everything ends and begins in the mind. And when we look past the mind, there you are. You know it begins in the mind. You know it's in the mind. When you wake up, you know there was a dream. So then you know you are not the dream. You are separate from the dream. You know that clearly. And you don't take responsibility for the dream, even if you murdered somebody in the dream. No, you don't spend your life hiding because, oh, I stole something and the police might find me. Okay. Even in an extreme case, one has to move forward. You become conscious. This is why in the old days, what was prison? Remember what Gurudev has said. It was, oh, your mind is overwhelmed. You are under stress. You have gone through too much. So they put you in a cave to meditate, to reflect, to become more conscious, to get deep, deep rest. No, so that you recover your life force, your energy, and then you come back out again. And then you paid back what you had to do. You made amends to society and to the person. You understand that it was not a lockup. It was an opportunity to go back inward and say, oh my goodness, have you noticed, really, in all honesty, when you're very relaxed, your nature, your words, your patience, your acceptance, your connection, your givingness, your abundance of attitude, it's all one way. But when you're tired, when you're stressed, when something really difficult happens in your life, you notice you lose more patience easily, right? You lose patience. You're short, you're curt. Maybe you would never think about cussing, but when you're so stressed, you cuss, abuse. Even if it's just in the head, you're saying like idiot. Ah, it is there. No, it's somewhere. Behavior that would not have happened if you were calm, when you are calm, happens when you're not calm. Everybody has a degree of it. You know, this notion, if you were to put yourself in their shoes, you don't know what you would do in their shoes, not in that moment. See, when I was a prosecutor, I you know, I would see certain defendants coming in, and it was very obvious that these people have been through a very, very difficult life. And if I were in that situation and I see there's 4 kids and whatever, I don't know how I would make it. You see the injustices in the world, you see the hardships in the world. We may be born on the subtle in the same plane, but our level of consciousness, awareness, presence is clearly not the same. And what ends up happening is under moments of stress, we do things that we regret. And it's all relative, isn't it? So then when we're stressed out, at least we have enough sense to say, oh my God, there's too much going on. This year was very difficult. I'm going to go for 4 days on a part 2 course and put myself in a cave. Do you see? It is a regeneration and recuperation of life and energy and coming back to being centered and really like, oh, this has happened. And then you come out more energetic, more rejuvenated, more full of life. And then you make amends to society, meaning you behave and act again back to where you were when you were calm. You spared good energy. Do you see that? So it's hold on, lots of comments. Give me a second. The dream example. Okay. Pizza example is a great one. Satyug and how we can come back to the present and evolve, and Kalyug, how we easily let go and don't want to try things. Yeah, because, we don't want mistakes. We don't want wrong. Our identity is what I produce, achieve, accomplish. That is our identity. So when it doesn't work, we get frustrated and we give up or we avoid or we run, which is where Arjuna was in the beginning of this text of the scripture. He wanted to run and he's slowly waking up. No? Some words remind me of Gurudev's. Leaf is where it should be. A throne is where it should be, and flower is where it should be. This creation is perfect as is underneath. I mean, you see, it's not even a matter of perfect or imperfect. It is. This is where you have to go, because if you go into perfect or not perfect, we're still in duplicity. We're still in this state of saying, why is it like this? Why is it not like this? It's not about, it's how it is. My dream was perfect. Have you ever woken up saying my dream was perfect? Somebody would have to come and whack you and say, it was a dream. What do you mean it was perfect? Then you start explaining, well, within a dream, as far as dreams go, it was perfect. Who cares? Nobody cares. That statement has no gravitas of any amount. See? So it's correct what you're saying. Whatever is perfect. And yet I'm saying whatever is. Clear? Do you see? One more. Gives me immense confidence to relax. Such a funny thing. We need a reason to relax also. No? We need confidence to relax is another way of saying, I need a reason to relax. Relaxation is our nature. That's why we want it so much. But yeah, again and again, we have to come back to looking at life from a bigger perspective. That is spirituality. It's not some hokey pokey thing. It's widening our lens, as wide as it can be. A Buddha's lens is not a lens. Everything's open. It's a field of all possibilities versus one possibility or limited possibility or many possibilities or gazillion possibilities, bazillion possibilities. It's still within boundaries. It's not field of all possibilities. And the closer we move away from localized possibility, the more we invite the power of the field of all possibilities in our life. In the dream life or the life, however you want to look at it, we create more. We live the dream, the role more vibrantly, more alive, more connection with more freedom. You see that? I never know when I lose you because you get serious either in contemplation or serious like, okay, get off now. All this is related to our identification, our attachment, our attachments, our Maya, what we are not. Yes, all this is related to thinking the dream is me and everything that happens in the dream is real. And you've forgotten that you're resting, relaxing, having this dream. How about what we are? That's the part. How do we recognize that we are consciousness? We cannot recognize that we are consciousness because we are consciousness. You cannot recognize who you are because who you're looking for is you, the consciousness. The moment you see something, it is not you, it is outside of you. It is an object of seeing. That which we see, feel, touch, observe, identify is not self. I saw myself, I saw God, light. wrong. No. We cannot see ourselves. We can be ourselves. No? Anytime you experience in this nervous system love, light, connection, joy, enthusiasm, beauty, silence, this feeling of stillness when you're left speechless because there's so much beauty, when no little things percolate into this good, this bubbles, of energy, and yeah, and you spit something out with freedom of enthusiasm, then you are living the consciousness qualities. I could perhaps say it like that. That's why all devas, the angels in this tradition, are worshipped as babies. Baby Krishna, baby Ganesha, like that, because we are honoring the divinity that we are born with. Except when we get into tamas, I don't want to make the pizza, I've had enough with the pizza, then those qualities get squashed. You see? Next time I come to your house, we'll make pizza, I guess. I don't know. That's the part. How do we recognize? Okay, Gurudev this morning was talking about how we don't know how to take sankalpas in life. Sankalp means intention. Yeah. He said that when you take an intention, you act and do not worry about the outcome. The pizza example and the knowledge associated beautifully complements this. Clarity of intention. We've talked about this many times in many different ways. No, get up and go is part of intention. And you go for it, and you do, and you go on holiday, you jump in the water, you splash around, all that sand gets in you, some seaweed goes by your leg and you jump, and oh, it's a snake, oh my God, there was a creature. You go through all that. And then you come out enthusiastically and you say, oh, that was so refreshing. Ah, that's God. That's alive. That's the moment. And you come out, oh, there was water and there was salt and there was a seaweed and it wrapped around me. And then, okay, oh my God, go home. Go to a different beach. That's what the system says. Because life wants to expand, not contract. And statements like that not only contract that consciousness within that body, but it contracts the intelligence and the consciousness around it. So then we say, I don't know what it is about this person, but I don't like being around them. Isn't it? It's just because there's a pressure, a contraction that comes, and life wants freedom. Dude, you guys are active today with comments. I like that. Okay, here. Gurudev this morning, good. How does karma work with the dissolution and creation happening? What do you mean? How does karma work with the dissolution and creation happening? Well, when you go to sleep, you have some impressions, some likes, dislikes, I want, I don't want, that person did this to me, they didn't do that to me. You have some dreams. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to go and make pizza. I'm going to go. You have some dreams, I have my first date tomorrow morning, or my son is coming home from college, or it's my 60th birthday and there's a celebration, whatever it might be. So you enter that, you go to sleep. Now you don't remember your dreams, you don't remember your challenges, you don't remember anything. There is dissolution. Tomorrow morning you wake up, you continue where you left off. Your question is, you're identifying yourself to that body and that mind as an individuated being who has dreams. Just imagine a different looking body. Anyway, in the morning, you have like a little twisted face. There's a line depending on how you slept. You don't look the same as you slept. No? It's a different body. That's exactly how it works. Nothing ends, nothing begins. These are words that we use. And that's why it enters back in. It is not created or dissolved in the sense of starting and ending. If you die tomorrow at 99 years old, it means you took birth. And the minute you take birth, it means you're on your way to death. That's a death. Because every day you grow older, you're getting closer to death. You're not living, I'm 1 year old today. It means, oh, 1 year dead today. No, I'll be 64 years dead. It's true. I don't have 64 years in front of me. I'm dead already. They're gone. It's past. It's just like the dream. Over. I can't do anything about it. I have 20 more years to keep dying. Wonderful. Keep going. You see? It's very hard for us to get out of limited identity. I exist as an individual, separate thing, and then I will die and I will continue. What I? Bundle of ideas and impressions and that's it. It's just like your hard drive going into another computer. We do that. No, I got my new computer and Amit took everything from one and put it in the other one. But this computer doesn't look anything like the other one that I had. This one is 15 inches. That's one thing I could say. It's much heavier than the other one. So I buy. You know, we can't figure it out. This is a place, remember, chapter 9, intellect is left out, state of wonder and exploration like a child comes in. You must listen like that. We can call that faith or curiosity, doesn't matter. That innocent curiosity has faith in it. I'll see something. What is it? One who has no faith doesn't bother being curious. I've been there. Okay. All right. Okay. I tried to end at 7:07. Now you have a couple more comments. Tomorrow I can wake up and be, what is it? Be Raj Didi in some galaxy. Too bad for me. Hmm. Whenever Raj Didi is coming, we are making pizza. Yeah, I think we should have when the Gita is over, we should have like a weekend Gita party. Should we do that somewhere? And then everybody meet and just no, man, no, let's have big deep knowledge, but just celebrate. We can all go to Panama at Sandra's and go to Costa Rica from there. Something, okay? Let's do that. Let's plan when it's over that we have a party somewhere somehow. We'll find someone who knows, okay, this is the perfect place. Like we could go to Julian, I don't know, up in San Diego and get a big house or something. Okay? Whoever wants to come. Yeah. All right. Be happy. Don't get caught in a pimple. Make pizza. I love you. God bless. God bless you.